Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Well,
Um, okay, first of all, we have to introduce ourselves. You are,
grow from I Am Healing, and you are?
I'm Antoinette McBeanie Homeopathy. And today's podcast, and it's probably not going to be as long as the previous one as well, we'll see, is about our land and how our land is probably holding all the healing and all the wisdom that we will ever need.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably a little bit connected to us doing the proving that is currently our group is gathered and we're underway with that. And I suppose it's born out of that we wanted to talk about. This journey people go on, or this need to find the next teacher and go outside of ourselves and go outside of our country even to find someone who's going to fix us or heal us or make us better.
Yeah. When everything is probably right here in front of us, and we've all done different trainings and all of that, and I in particular had a really deep kind of desire to find out what happened to the mothers and babies in mother and baby homes in the Magdalen laundries, and with that I traveled to the south of France 2 years ago to make a remedy with a bunch of other homeopaths, thinking I was going to find the answers to that, and I didn't. I found totally different answers,
Mm.
but the main one still remained. The one that just made that caused that hole in my heart, and I found out about it. So we can probably get a little distracted by things. I was going to say shiny objects, but that's not fair. But we can our attention and our focus can be brought elsewhere, when maybe what we need is not only on our land, it could be right outside our front door. And maybe we're seeing it
Oh,
as a weed, or maybe we're seeing it as a standing stone that needs to be moved, or a fairy fort. This
yeah.
land is rich with fairies, rich.
Rich. I think I posted about it in my stories, but everybody mightn't have seen it. I went to a herbalist open day in his garden. He's just here in Sligo last weekend. Stefan is his name. And I actually know a couple of people who are training with Stefan. And he said, and it was just such wisdom. He was so knowledgeable and so generous with his knowledge. And he said, oftentimes what your body needs is what will grow in your garden. I was like, I would have stagnant lymph. My mother has told me this all my life. Every time she does reflexology, our lymph is very stagnant. What grows consistently in my garden? Cleavers. The homeopathic remedy Galiamaparine is what comes from cleavers, and cleavers stimulates the lymph. And I started roaring laughing when he said that, because it's like, it's on my doorstep, it's in front of me, and it's free. I don't have to go anywhere to find out about this.
Yeah, it's not incredible. It's like the earth is able to absorb the information from you. And I'd say particularly if you're going out grounding, if you're going out in your bare feet,
Yeah,
the earth is taking that information in, deciding what you need and providing it. Very much like, I suppose, a breastfeeding mother is
yeah.
able to the milk changes according
Change.
to the
Yeah.
bacteria that's in the air, and it helps the baby with that. So at the moment, and last year actually, there was an abundance of meadowsweet down our road. We have a little road that I walk down most days, and sometimes a couple of times, and the hedgerow is always changing. And last year there was so much horsetail and meadowsweet and willow herb, huge amounts. And the meadowsweet is great for respiratory stuff. And what did I get sick with last winter? A really, really bad respiratory kind of infection thing that went on for a couple of weeks and was really serious. And did I think to take the meadowsweet? No, I did not. Not at all. Did I think to pick it during the summer? No, I didn't. But I have been out picking it and I'm drying it, and I will make teas from
Lovely.
it. And there's also loads of willow herb out there at the moment, which is for mucus stuff again, or bleeding and skin conditions. And I was saying to you, Grania, actually last week, there's a really simple way that you can identify the plants that are around you,
Oh
the
yeah.
plants or the so-called weeds that are around you. You just open up your Google camera, take a picture. It'll tell you exactly what it is, what's right in front of you, and you can take a picture of the flower or the leaf, or if it's a tree, and then you can Google again or use a plant book. What can you actually, what medicinal purposes does this particular thing have? And it'll
Yeah,
be different around every single home. You know, what's grown in abundance is going to be different depending on what's needed
exactly.
by the people around.
Because
Isn't that just incredible?
it's unbelievable. And I just want to kind of say to people who might be thinking, oh, crikey, it's all well and good for you, you know. I actually don't, folks. I haven't a clue about herbalism, which is why, and plant medicine. I am at the very beginning of my journey of beginning to grow things and, you know, developing a garden. I have a friend of mine who's going to help me with some of that. I've got involved in the local community garden to just learn. So this is not something that comes natural to me, but because of this journey that has brought me to, I now have such love and appreciation for our land that I'm now beginning to open myself up to the possibilities. So for those of you who are feeling overwhelmed, it was Antoinette that said it. I was like, I don't know what's growing around me. And Antoinette said, oh, you can, go to the Google search engine and open up and you can take the picture. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. So now I can begin to learn a bit more. But beyond the plants, there's also like I've just come back from swimming and I wasn't going to go this morning. I had a bit of a lazy Saturday morning. And then I knew it was high tide there around half 12, 1, and I went, oh, sod it. And I went down and I had the cove to myself a little bit and I swam out into the sea and there was a cormorant. I mean, he was spitting distance from me diving and I sat watching him and he sat watching me and the magic of being held in those waters, and then stepping on that land, and as you say, there's fairy forts, there's rock formations, along our seashore, there's a lot of the rocks have what you call that relicy stuff in it. You think of the words now, I'm gone blank. But I just think there's so much magic that it's not just the plants, it's the actual space itself.
Yeah.
And for us to connect with that, and again, talking about the constant searching outside of ourselves, you mentioned about, like, we see it with things being brought in from other cultures. I love cacao, but it's not our culture, and it's like everyone is, it's almost like a fad thing now. And are we, it's not ours. Have we lost a sense of what that importance of that medicine is because it's almost become the latest fad?
Yeah. 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 Um, I was very lucky about 2 years ago to sit in on training with some Guatemalan women who were facilitators of cacao workshops and training, and they were quite devastated at how it's been used by
Right.
people who have no idea and no reverence and no respect and no training and no connection to it, but are, maybe making a few quid out of it or whatever. And we like you said, we have everything we need here. And I was talking to you just a while ago about this amazing woman, Deirdre Hannon, who was in touch with me yesterday. And Deirdre's going around and she's been planting trees on
Yes.
on properties. And her plan, her idea, her hope during COVID times was to plant a triskel, a healing triskel, and they're big, a triskel of trees in every single county. And just last week, she has surpassed that. Just last week, the 76th healing triskel was planted. So I have one here in my land, and it is made up of 33 hazels and a birch in the middle. She's doing amazing work with the trees and with the land, but she's also put me in touch with a bunch of women. I was telling you about them, who are going around reopening up the wells that are on. So many of us have wells on our property, don't even know about it. They were blocked over years ago, disconnecting us from source, from our most basic nutrient coming directly from the earth, from Mother Nature, our water, our crystal pure spring water, all blocked off. Shut it down, shut it down. It's dirty, it's impure, it's not clean. So drink this water out of your tap instead, and we'll put chloride into it and fluoride, and or drink it out of a plastic bottle. So sacred wells, regular wells. I would love to get involved in that project, in getting these opened up again, or just getting back to drinking proper living water. not dead water. Imagine what that alone would do for our health. A friend of mine has moved into her own house and has opened up a well on her property. She said it's made the biggest difference to all of them with regards to their
Wow.
energy, their health, how they're feeling, just clarity.
Yeah, I'm lucky I found out about a local well to me, and I go up there regularly and gather, dunk my water bottle into it and gather it, and I put it into glass jars here so that I keep it as fresh as possible. And I do it regularly so they're not sitting there. But I brought some local friends who didn't know about the well up to the well a couple of weeks back, and one of the girls couldn't believe how alive the water was. She was blown away, and it
Yeah,
was like there's a velvetiness to that water. And again, that's on air land.
yeah,
I think we're in very exciting times, and I know for myself it's that journey of looking outwards has started to shift a lot more to, finding what's around me that will support me on my journey, and finding who's around me to support me on that journey, rather than the big names over in London, or, the big American names. And I'm not saying they're not valuable. Of course they are. But I also think we have such wisdom beside us.
we do. And it doesn't get much closer than the dock leaves outside your door. And also the cures. We were talking last week about how many people in Ireland have cures,
Yes.
especially over the West.
Yeah.
There are people here who wouldn't dream of going to a doctor if there was a burn, if there was a bad burn in the house. You go and you get your cure first of all, Monday, Thursday, Monday,
Yeah.
or warts or skin
Yeah.
infections, anything like that. There's fabulous people working all around us who aren't all glitzy and they're not all up on Facebook and Instagram. They've just been
Yeah.
working away with cures that have been handed down from their parents and grandparents. And there is actually a directory of, I did have it, a directory of all the people in Ireland who have cures. So if anybody's listening to this and has a copy of
Oh,
that or knows where we can get it again, I would love to get that again.
same.
So it is
It's
exciting.
it's one of the questions actually I get asked. I don't know if you get this in clinic. People will, I know you're treating the warts, we'll say, whatever, but we're going to go and get the cure as well. I am so it's one of the few things I'll happily say. Please do that alongside your homeopathy, because
Yeah.
I 100% believe in that, and relish the opportunity to work alongside someone who has the blessing of the cure. Um, and it doesn't matter what worked, it worked.
Yeah,
I've no
yeah,
problem with that.
yeah. It's all positive energy being directed at one person. You can't say no to that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's probably it. Was there anything else you wanted to say to round up? Just
Oh, I think I would love to hear what people are doing on their doorstep, or their experiences, if they want to comment or even message us individually. And as you say, if anybody has any directory of cure, people who have the cures, we would love to see that. I think these are things that could be so valuable. Yeah, so tell us your journey with the land around you, with people around you, and yeah, that's it.
gorgeous. Yeah, summed it up perfectly. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.